Number 4, in the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 in Mark 6:30 through 44 and other scriptures, we see that Jesus taught all day, and as the sun was setting, there were thousands of people who had been outside all day. Remember, 5,000 recorded people meant men. In actual numbers, we can add wives and children to that number. This means that the actual number of people is estimated to be between 12 and 14,000 people. In Mark 6, verse 37, after the disciples noticed it was getting late, they suggested to Jesus that he send the people away so they could go into town and get something to eat. Jesus replied, "You give them something to eat." So they asked him, "Shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat?" That was in the Amplified translation. And then in John 6:7, it says, Philip said 200 denarii would not be enough for everyone to even have a little. Just so we're all on the same page, 200 denarii in those days was about 7 months' wages for one person. 1 denarii was a little silver coin and about a day's wage. So when they asked, should we go to town and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat, they weren't being snarky. They weren't sassing back. They revered him, and to be sassy would be disrespectful. He was the Messiah. So they were really asking him if that's what he wanted them to do. This means that they had roughly a minimum of 28 to 60,000 equivalent dollars available, which even if that was all they had, it still wouldn't have been enough to feed everyone. The point is that they did have a decent amount of money in their account. So there's no telling if that 200 denarii was the whole balance or just one person's portion, because there's 12 disciples. So if each disciple had about 200 denarii, you can do the math on that. That's not a little bit of money. That's a sizable balance. And that's not including the money that the women were contributing also, the prominent women. I think the best part about having a relationship with Jesus Christ is that all that stuff that happened in the Bible, it still applies today. All the peace, the joy, the protection, the blessings, the healing, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit doesn't expire. God's blessings and promises don't expire. So if you're interested in having a relationship with Jesus Christ, or you're curious about what it all means, go ahead and click the link below. It'll be the best decision you've ever made.